CLEP Principles of Management Leadership Styles. Question 1. Which concept is shown when a manager focuses attention only on major deviations from standards during a compliance review for the MAPLE unit? Option A. Micromanagement. Option B. Laissez-faire leadership. Option C. Job enlargement. Option D. Management by exception. The correct answer is option D. Management by exception. Management by exception fits because management by exception saves attention for significant performance gaps. Micromanagement is different because it closely controls small details, laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives broad freedom, and job enlargement is different because it adds similar tasks. Question 2. Employees can trace who reports to whom from supervisor to executive during a merger discussion for the MAPLE unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A. Job enrichment. Option B. Benchmarking. Option C. Chain of command. Option D. Equity theory. The correct answer is option C. Chain of command. Chain of command fits because the chain of command shows the formal line of authority. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility to work. Benchmarking is different because it compares performance with best practices, and equity theory is different because it concerns perceived fairness. Question 3. During a management case, a theorist emphasizes hierarchy, formal roles, and impersonal treatment inside a hospital department for the MAPLE unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A. Human relations management. Option B. Transformational leadership. Option C. JIT inventory. Option D. Bureaucratic management. The correct answer is option D. Bureaucratic management. Bureaucratic management fits because bureaucratic management explains organizations through formal authority, rules, and specialization. Human relations management is different because it emphasizes social and psychological factors. Transformational leadership is different because it inspires change through vision, and JIT inventory is different because it reduces inventory holding. Question 4. How should a manager classify a situation where countries cooperate to make trade easier among members in a remote service team for the MAPLE unit? Option A. Informal organization. Option B. Job enrichment. Option C. Mediation. Option D. Trading alliance. The correct answer is option D. Trading alliance. Trading alliance fits because a trading alliance reduces barriers and supports trade among participating economies. Informal organization is different because it is a social network inside a workplace. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility, and mediation is different because it guides dispute resolution. Question 5. When an HR specialist advises managers about hiring rules without running their departments at a logistics company for the MAPLE unit, which concept is being applied? Option A. Staff authority. Option B. Line authority. Option C. Centralization. Option D. Concurrent control. The correct answer is option A. Staff authority. Staff authority fits because staff authority supports line managers with specialized advice. Line authority is different because it directly commands core work. Centralization is different because it concerns where decisions are made, and concurrent control is different because it monitors work in progress. Question 6. After employees follow a required sequence for approving purchase orders inside a software company for the MAPLE unit, which label best fits the action? Option A. Procedure. Option B. Policy. Option C. Mission. Option D. Span of control. The correct answer is option A. Procedure. Procedure fits because a procedure lists the steps for completing a recurring task. Policy is different because it is broader and less step-by-step. Mission is different because it states the organization's purpose, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 7. If leaders describe what the organization wants to become in the future inside a government agency for the MAPLE unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A. Role. Option B. Job description. Option C. Vision statement. Option D. Concurrent control. The correct answer is option C. Vision statement. Vision statement fits because a vision statement expresses an inspiring future state. Role is different because it states a specific required or prohibited behavior. Job description is different because it lists duties of a position, and concurrent control is different because it monitors work while it is happening. Question 8. To analyze a case where middle managers convert broad goals into departmental actions during a staffing shortage for the MAPLE unit, which term should be selected? Option A. Strategic planning. Option B. Tactical planning. Option C. Orientation. Option D. Collective bargaining. The correct answer is option B. Tactical planning. Tactical planning fits because tactical planning translates strategy into plans for units or departments. Strategic planning is different because it is broader and handled mainly by top management. Orientation is different because it introduces new employees to the organization, and collective bargaining is different because it is negotiation between labor and management. Question 9. For an exam item where a production manager directly supervises employees who make the company's product during an operations review for the Maple unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, line authority. Option B, staff authority. Option C, informal authority. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option A, line authority. Line authority fits because line authority is direct authority over core work activities. Staff authority is different because it provides advice and support. Informal authority is different because it comes from relationships rather than formal position, and mediation is different because it helps parties settle a dispute. Question 10. In a workplace example where a diagram shows formal positions and reporting relationships during a strategic planning session for the Maple unit, which concept is tested? Option A, balance sheet. Option B, SWOT table. Option C, training plan. Option D, organization chart. The correct answer is option D, organization chart. Organization chart fits because an organization chart visually displays formal authority and reporting lines. Balance sheet is different because it reports financial position. SWOT table is different because it summarizes strategic factors, and training plan is different because it develops employee skills. Question 11. Before choosing an answer about an organization relies on written rules, hierarchy, specialization, and formal procedures during a compliance review for the Maple unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, autocracy. Option B, grapevine. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option C, bureaucracy. Bureaucracy fits because bureaucracy is a formal structure built around rules, hierarchy, and defined roles. Adhocracy is different because it is flexible and innovation-oriented. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns work for motivation. Question 12. One manager notices that managers set expected revenues and spending limits for a department during a merger discussion for the Maple unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, organization chart. Option B, job description. Option C, grapevine. Option D, budget. The correct answer is option D, budget. Budget fits because a budget is a financial plan that helps allocate and control resources. Organization chart is different because it shows formal reporting relationships. Job description is different because it lists position duties, and grapevine is different because it is informal communication. Question 13. Could a case where a manager sets objectives and chooses actions before work begins inside a hospital department for the Maple unit best point to which concept? Option A, planning. Option B, organizing. Option C, leading. Option D, controlling. The correct answer is option A, planning. Planning fits because planning is the function that defines goals and decides how to reach them. Organizing is different because it arranges resources after goals are set. Leading is different because it influences people to work toward goals, and controlling is different because it measures results against standards. Question 14. Why would a scenario where branch managers are allowed to solve local customer problems without headquarters approval in a remote service team for the Maple unit most likely test which idea? Option A, centralization. Option B, bureaucracy. Option C, decentralization. Option D, forecasting. The correct answer is option C, decentralization. Decentralization fits because decentralization gives lower levels more authority to make decisions. Centralization is different because it keeps authority at the top. Bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 15. Where does a supervisor paraphrases an employee's concern before responding at a logistics company for the Maple unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, active listening. Option B, filtering. Option C, noise. Option D, downward control. The correct answer is option A, active listening. Active listening fits because active listening checks understanding and shows attention to the speaker. Filtering is different because it distorts information before it reaches the receiver. Noise is different because it interferes with communication, and downward control is different because it is not a standard communication concept. Question 16. Should a student connect a supervisor formally evaluates an employee's job results against standards inside a software company for the Maple unit with which management concept? Option A, performance appraisal. Option B, job analysis. Option C, recruitment. Option D, orientation. The correct answer is option A, performance appraisal. Performance appraisal fits because performance appraisal assesses how well an employee met performance expectations. Job analysis is different because it studies job duties, recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and orientation is different because it introduces new hires. Question 17. Which concept is shown when employees from different backgrounds are actively involved in meetings and decisions inside a government agency for the Maple unit? Option A, recruitment. Option B, filtering. Option C, inclusion. Option D, bureaucracy. The correct answer is option C, inclusion. Inclusion fits because inclusion means people are welcomed, respected, and able to contribute. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, filtering is different because it distorts communication, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy. Question 18. Managers estimate future sales before setting staffing levels during a staffing shortage for the Maple unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, delegation. Option B, job enrichment. Option C, forecasting. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option C, forecasting. Forecasting fits because forecasting predicts future conditions so managers can plan more intelligently. Delegation is different because it assigns responsibility and authority. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility to a job, and mediation is different because it uses a neutral party to guide dispute resolution. Question 19. During a management case, a company prepares a backup response in case a supplier fails during an operations review for the Maple unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, standing rule. Option B, job analysis. Option C, contingency plan. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option C, contingency plan. Contingency plan fits because a contingency plan prepares for possible future events or disruptions. Standing rule is different because it gives a continuing command for repeated behavior. Job analysis is different because it studies tasks and requirements, and downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees. Question 20. How should a manager classify a situation where an employee receives performance input from supervisors, peers, subordinates, and sometimes customers during a strategic planning session for the Maple unit? Option A, self-managed team. Option B, job specification. Option C, budget control. Option D, 360-degree feedback. The correct answer is option D, 360-degree feedback. 360-degree feedback fits because 360-degree feedback gathers appraisal information from multiple sources around the employee. Self-managed team is different because it gives a team control over work. Job specification is different because it lists qualifications, and budget control is different because it compares financial results with a budget. Question 21. When a company identifies a patented process it owns as an advantage during a compliance review for the Maple unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, threat. Option B, opportunity. Option C, strength. Option D, weakness. The correct answer is option C, strength. Strength fits because a strength is an internal positive capability or resource. Threat is different because it is an external danger, opportunity is different because it is an external positive condition, and weakness is different because it is an internal limitation. Question 22. After a manager uses formal authority to impose a conflict decision quickly during a merger discussion for the Maple unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, forcing. Option B, accommodation. Option C, collaboration. Option D, compromise. The correct answer is option A, forcing. Forcing fits because forcing is a win-lose style that relies on power or authority. Accommodation is different because it gives in to preserve harmony, collaboration is different because it seeks mutual gains, and compromise is different because it splits concessions between sides. Question 23. If employees move among different positions to learn broader skills inside a hospital department for the Maple unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, job enlargement. Option B, job enrichment. Option C, specialization. Option D, job rotation. The correct answer is option D, job rotation. Job rotation fits because job rotation shifts employees through different jobs to build variety and experience. Job enlargement is different because it adds similar tasks to one job. Job enrichment is different because it increases responsibility and meaning, and specialization is different because it narrows work into specific tasks. Question 24. To analyze a case where a manager sends instructions and performance expectations to employees in a remote service team for the Maple unit, which term should be selected? Option A, upward communication. Option B, horizontal communication. Option C, grapevine. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option D, downward communication. Downward communication fits because downward communication flows from higher levels to lower levels. Upward communication is different because it moves from employees to managers, horizontal communication is different because it moves among peers, and grapevine is different because it is informal and unofficial. Question 25. For an exam item where executives respond to a crisis the company has never faced before at a logistics company for the Maple unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, program decision. Option B, procedure. Option C, non-program decision. Option D, standing plan. The correct answer is option C, non-program decision. Non-program decision fits because non-program decisions are novel, complex, and not solved by routine rules. Program decision is different because it handles repeated problems, procedure is different because it gives routine steps, and standing plan is different because it guides recurring situations. Question 26. In a workplace example where two departments search for a solution that fully addresses both sides' concerns inside a software company for the Maple unit, which concept is tested? Option A, avoidance. Option B, forcing. Option C, compromise. Option D, collaboration. The correct answer is option D, collaboration. Collaboration fits because collaboration tries to create a win-win outcome by addressing underlying interests. Avoidance is different because it postpones or ignores the conflict. Forcing is different because it uses power to win at the other's expense, and compromise is different because it requires each side to give up something. Question 27. Before choosing an answer about a company creates separate units for consumer products, business products, and services inside a government agency for the Maple unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, divisional structure. Option B, functional structure. Option C, simple structure. Option D, staff authority. The correct answer is option A, divisional structure. Divisional structure fits because a divisional structure groups work around products, customers, or regions. Functional structure is different because it groups by specialized activities. Simple structure is different because it has little formalization and few departments, and staff authority is different because it gives advice rather than a full divisional design. Question 28. One manager notices that an employee accepts the duty to complete an assigned task during a staffing shortage for the Maple unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, authority. Option B, responsibility. Option C, accountability. Option D, centralization. The correct answer is option B, responsibility. Responsibility fits because responsibility is the obligation to perform assigned work. Authority is different because it is the right to direct work. Accountability is different because it is answerability for outcomes, and centralization is different because it keeps decisions at higher levels. Question 29. Could a case where an employee receives more tasks at the same skill level during an operations review for the Maple unit best point to which concept? Option A, job enlargement. Option B, job enrichment. Option C, job rotation. Option D, empowerment. The correct answer is option A, job enlargement. Job enlargement fits because job enlargement expands the number of similar tasks in a job. Job enrichment is different because it adds deeper responsibility and growth. Job rotation is different because it moves people among different jobs, and empowerment is different because it gives decision authority. Question 30. Why would a scenario where a neutral third party helps disputing employees reach their own agreement during a strategic planning session for the Maple unit most likely test which idea? Option A, mediation. Option B, arbitration. Option C, collective bargaining. Option D, groupthink. The correct answer is option A, mediation. Mediation fits because mediation guides the process without imposing a binding decision. Arbitration is different because it usually gives the third-party decision power. Collective bargaining is different because it is labor management negotiation, and groupthink is different because it is pressure toward agreement. Question 31. Where does managers recognize that social needs and group norms affect productivity during a compliance review for the Maple unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, scientific management. Option B, classical bureaucracy. Option C, human relations approach. Option D, PERT. The correct answer is option C, human relations approach. Human relations approach fits because the human relations approach emphasizes people, morale, and social factors at work. Scientific management is different because it emphasizes efficient task methods. Classical bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes formal rules and hierarchy, and PERT is different because it schedules project activities. Question 32. Should a student connect a leader rewards employees for meeting agreed performance targets during a merger discussion for the Maple unit with which management concept? Option A, transactional leadership. Option B, transformational leadership. Option C, servant leadership. Option D, situational leadership. The correct answer is option A, transactional leadership. Transactional leadership fits because transactional leadership uses exchanges, rewards, and corrective actions. Transformational leadership is different because it inspires commitment to change. Servant leadership is different because it emphasizes serving followers, and situational leadership is different because it adapts style to readiness. Question 33. Which concept is shown when a new customer segment appears in the market inside a hospital department for the Maple unit? Option A, weakness. Option B, opportunity. Option C, strength. Option D, policy. The correct answer is option B, opportunity. Opportunity fits because an opportunity is an external condition the organization can use to improve results. Weakness is different because it is inside the organization, strength is different because it is an internal advantage, and policy is different because it is a general decision guideline. Question 34. A manager postpones addressing a conflict and hopes it disappears in a remote service team for the Maple unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, forcing. Option B, collaboration. Option C, avoidance. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option C, avoidance. Avoidance fits because avoidance delays or withdraws from conflict rather than solving it directly. Forcing is different because it uses authority to impose a solution. Collaboration is different because it openly works through both sides' concerns, and mediation is different because it uses a neutral facilitator. Question 35. During a management case, frontline employees send suggestions and problems to senior managers at a logistics company for the Maple unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, downward communication. Option B, horizontal communication. Option C, external communication. Option D, upward communication. The correct answer is option D, upward communication. Upward communication fits because upward communication flows from lower levels to higher levels. Downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees, horizontal communication is different because it flows across peers, and external communication is different because it crosses organizational boundaries. Question 36. How should a manager classify a situation where a job is redesigned to include more responsibility, achievement, and growth inside a software company for the Maple unit? Option A, job enlargement. Option B, job rotation. Option C, job simplification. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option D, job enrichment. Job enrichment fits because job enrichment adds motivating factors to the depth of a job. Job enlargement is different because it adds more tasks at the same level. Job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs, and job simplification is different because it reduces task complexity. Question 37. When new employees learn basic policies, expectations, and workplace routines inside a government agency for the Maple unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, recruitment. Option B, performance appraisal. Option C, arbitration. Option D, orientation. The correct answer is option D, orientation. Orientation fits because orientation introduces new hires to the organization and their jobs. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, performance appraisal is different because it evaluates results, and arbitration is different because it resolves disputes through a binding third party. Question 38. After a company reinforces a new process until it becomes the normal way to work during a staffing shortage for the Maple unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, refreezing. Option B, unfreezing. Option C, storming. Option D, forecasting. The correct answer is option A, refreezing. Refreezing fits because refreezing stabilizes a change so the new behavior lasts. Unfreezing is different because it prepares people for change, storming is different because it is a team development stage, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 39. If experts give anonymous opinions through several rounds of questionnaires during an operations review for the Maple unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, Delphi technique. Option B, town hall meeting. Option C, functional structure. Option D, concurrent control. The correct answer is option A, Delphi technique. Delphi technique fits because the Delphi technique gathers expert judgment while reducing direct social pressure. Town hall meeting is different because it is open discussion rather than anonymous expert rounds. Functional structure is different because it groups similar activities, and concurrent control is different because it monitors current work. Question 40. To analyze a case where a neutral selection test disproportionately screens out a protected group without job-related justification during a strategic planning session for the Maple unit, which term should be selected? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, adverse impact. Option C, management by objectives. Option D, horizontal communication. The correct answer is option B, adverse impact. Adverse impact fits because adverse impact occurs when an employment practice has an unfair discriminatory effect. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivators to work. Management by objectives is different because it sets agreed measurable goals, and horizontal communication is different because it occurs among peers. Question 41. For an exam item where a document lists the duties, responsibilities, and reporting relationships of a position during a compliance review for the Maple unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, job description. Option B, job specification. Option C, policy. Option D, forecast. The correct answer is option A, job description. Job description fits because a job description explains what the job holder does. Job specification is different because it lists qualifications needed. Policy is different because it gives broad decision guidance, and forecast is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 42. In a workplace example where managers compare internal strengths and weaknesses with external opportunities and threats during a merger discussion for the Maple unit, which concept is tested? Option A, SWOT analysis. Option B, PERT analysis. Option C, performance appraisal. Option D, collective bargaining. The correct answer is option A, SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis fits because SWOT analysis organizes internal and external factors for strategic planning. PERT analysis is different because it schedules complex project activities. Performance appraisal is different because it evaluates an employee's work, and collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor agreements. Question 43. Before choosing an answer about a team member reduces tension and encourages quieter members to participate inside a hospital department for the Maple unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, task role. Option B, program decision. Option C, maintenance role. Option D, line authority. The correct answer is option C, maintenance role. Maintenance role fits because maintenance roles support group relationships and cohesion. Task role is different because it focuses directly on completing the work. Program decision is different because it handles routine problems, and line authority is different because it commands core work activities. Question 44. One manager notices that a leader recognizes frustration in a team and responds calmly in a remote service team for the Maple unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, technical skill. Option B, benchmarking. Option C, emotional intelligence. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option C, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence fits because emotional intelligence involves understanding and managing emotions in oneself and others. Technical skill is different because it concerns specialized job knowledge. Benchmarking is different because it compares practices with leaders, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 45. Could a case where frontline workers are allowed to make service decisions without waiting for approval at a logistics company for the Maple unit best point to which concept? Option A, centralization. Option B, empowerment. Option C, job analysis. Option D, filtering. The correct answer is option B, empowerment. Empowerment fits because empowerment gives employees authority, information, and responsibility to act. Centralization is different because it keeps decisions at higher levels. Job analysis is different because it studies duties and requirements, and filtering is different because it distorts communication. Question 46. Why would a scenario where workers plan, schedule, monitor, and control much of their own work inside a software company for the Maple unit most likely test which idea? Option A, traditional team. Option B, virtual organization. Option C, self-managed team. Option D, quality circle. The correct answer is option C, self-managed team. Self-managed team fits because self-managed teams have authority over many administrative and work process decisions. Traditional team is different because it relies more on a supervisor for direction. Virtual organization is different because it uses networks and technology across locations. And quality circle is different because it usually recommends improvements rather than manages all work. Question 47. Where does a leader focuses first on helping followers grow and succeed inside a government agency for the Maple unit fit best in management terminology? Option A. Autocratic leadership. Option B. Servant leadership. Option C. Transactional leadership. Option D. Scientific management. The correct answer is option B. Servant leadership. Servant leadership fits because servant leadership prioritizes follower development, service, and trust. Autocratic leadership is different because it emphasizes command by the leader. Transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes performance exchanges, and scientific management is different because it emphasizes efficient work methods. Question 48. Should a student connect team members' write ideas silently, discuss them, and rank the options during a staffing shortage for the Maple unit with which management concept? Option A. Nominal group technique. Option B. Brainstorming. Option C. Grapevine. Option D. Job analysis. The correct answer is option A. Nominal group technique. Nominal group technique fits because the nominal group technique reduces dominance by collecting individual ideas before voting. Brainstorming is different because it usually encourages open idea generation. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and job analysis is different because it studies work duties. Question 49. Which concept is shown when a manager has the formal right to make decisions and direct work during an operations review for the Maple unit? Option A. Responsibility. Option B. Authority. Option C. Accountability. Option D. Motivation. The correct answer is option B. Authority. Authority fits because authority is the legitimate right to command resources and give orders. Responsibility is different because it is the duty to perform assigned work. Accountability is different because it is being answerable for results, and motivation is different because it is the drive to act. Question 50. Inspectors compare finished products with established specifications during a strategic planning session for the Maple unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A. Recruitment. Option B. Quality control. Option C. Delegation. Option D. Vision. The correct answer is option B. Quality control. Quality control fits because quality control checks outputs against standards to identify defects or variation. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants. Delegation is different because it assigns responsibility and authority, and vision is different because it describes a desired future. Question 51. During a management case, employees share unwritten values about how work should be done during a compliance review for the Maple unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A. Organization chart. Option B. Budget. Option C. Organizational culture. Option D. Job specification. The correct answer is option C. Organizational culture. Organizational culture fits because organizational culture is the shared values, beliefs, and assumptions of members. Organization chart is different because it shows formal structure. Budget is different because it allocates money, and job specification is different because it lists required qualifications. Question 52. How should a manager classify a situation where managers inspect inputs before production begins during a merger discussion for the Maple unit? Option A. Concurrent control. Option B. Feedback control. Option C. Feed-forward control. Option D. Clan control. The correct answer is option C. Feed-forward control. Feed-forward control fits because feed-forward control prevents problems by checking resources or plans before work starts. Concurrent control is different because it monitors work while it occurs. Feedback control is different because it evaluates completed results, and clan control is different because it relies on shared values. Question 53. When a team writes a goal that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound inside a hospital department for the Maple unit, which concept is being applied? Option A. Vision statement. Option B. Grapevine. Option C. Bureaucracy. Option D. Smart goal. The correct answer is option D. Smart goal. Smart goal fits because smart goals are clear enough to guide action and evaluate results. Vision statement is different because it describes a desired future rather than a measurable target. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and bureaucracy is different because it is a formal rule-based structure. Question 54. After a neutral third party hears a dispute and makes a binding decision in a remote service team for the Maple unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, mediation. Option B, brainstorming. Option C, arbitration. Option D, job rotation. The correct answer is option C, arbitration. Arbitration fits because arbitration gives the third party authority to decide the outcome. Mediation is different because it helps parties negotiate without imposing a decision. Brainstorming is different because it generates ideas, and job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs. Question 55. If a manager defines a problem, lists alternatives, evaluates them, and selects a solution at a logistics company for the Maple unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, rational decision-making model. Option B, grapevine. Option C, equity theory. Option D, laissez-faire leadership. The correct answer is option A, rational decision-making model. Rational decision-making model fits because the rational model uses a logical sequence to choose among alternatives. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, equity theory is different because it explains motivation through fairness, and laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives followers broad freedom. Question 56. To analyze a case where a manager recognizes that basic needs must be met before higher growth needs motivate employees inside a software company for the Maple unit, which term should be selected? Option A, equity theory. Option B, expectancy theory. Option C, reinforcement theory. Option D, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The correct answer is option D, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs fits because Maslow's theory arranges needs from basic physiological needs to self-actualization. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness comparisons. Expectancy theory is different because it links effort, performance, and rewards, and reinforcement theory is different because it uses consequences to shape behavior. Question 57. For an exam item where a leader asks employees for input before making an important decision inside a government agency for the Maple unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, laissez-faire leadership. Option C, transactional leadership. Option D, democratic leadership. The correct answer is option D, democratic leadership. Democratic leadership fits because democratic leadership involves participation and shared input. Autocratic leadership is different because it relies on leader-centered decision-making. Laissez-faire leadership is different because it provides minimal direction, and transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes exchanges of rewards for performance. Question 58. In a workplace example where frontline supervisors plan specific daily activities and work routines during a staffing shortage for the Maple unit, which concept is tested? Option A, strategic planning. Option B, operational planning. Option C, organization development. Option D, benchmarking. The correct answer is option B, operational planning. Operational planning fits because operational planning deals with short-range tasks, procedures, and schedules. Strategic planning is different because it covers broad long-term direction. Organization development is different because it focuses on planned organizational change, and benchmarking is different because it compares practices with leading performers. Question 59. Before choosing an answer about a high-potential employee is prepared for future leadership roles during an operations review for the Maple unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, training. Option B, selection. Option C, development. Option D, job description. The correct answer is option C, development. Development fits because development builds long-term capabilities for future responsibilities. Training is different because it focuses more on current job skills. Selection is different because it chooses candidates, and job description is different because it lists current duties. Question 60. One manager notices that employees are grouped into departments such as finance, marketing, and operations during a strategic planning session for the Maple unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, divisional structure. Option B, functional structure. Option C, matrix structure. Option D, virtual team. The correct answer is option B, functional structure. Functional structure fits because a functional structure groups people by similar skills or activities. Divisional structure is different because it groups by product, customer, or geography. Matrix structure is different because it creates dual reporting lines, and virtual team is different because it works across distance through technology. Question 61. Could a case where a team generates many ideas before judging any of them during a compliance review for the Maple unit best point to which concept? Option A, groupthink. Option B, brainstorming. Option C, arbitration. Option D, budgeting. The correct answer is option B, brainstorming. Brainstorming fits because brainstorming separates idea generation from evaluation to encourage creativity. Groupthink is different because it pressures members toward agreement, arbitration is different because it lets a third party decide a dispute, and budgeting is different because it plans financial resources. Question 62. Why would a scenario where a manager assigns a task and grants enough authority to complete it during a merger discussion for the Maple unit most likely test which idea? Option A, delegation. Option B, centralization. Option C, job rotation. Option D, arbitration. The correct answer is option A, delegation. Delegation fits because delegation transfers responsibility for work along with the authority needed to do it. Centralization is different because it keeps authority near the top. Job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs, and arbitration is different because it uses a third party to make a binding dispute decision. Question 63. Where does a firm discovers its outdated software is hurting productivity inside a hospital department for the Maple unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, weakness. Option B, strength. Option C, opportunity. Option D, threat. The correct answer is option A, weakness. Weakness fits because a weakness is an internal limitation that can reduce performance. Strength is different because it is an internal advantage, opportunity is different because it comes from a favorable external condition, and threat is different because it comes from an unfavorable external condition. Question 64. Should a student connect a manager studies how changes in one department affect suppliers, employees, and customers in a remote service team for the Maple unit with which management concept? Option A, scientific management. Option B, systems theory. Option C, job specification. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option B, systems theory. Systems theory fits because systems theory views the organization as interdependent parts within a larger environment. Scientific management is different because it focuses on efficient task design. Job specification is different because it lists worker qualifications, and downward communication is different because it describes message direction. Question 65. Which concept is shown when employees worry a new system will reduce their status or job security at a logistics company for the Maple unit? Option A, empowerment. Option B, resistance to change. Option C, benchmarking. Option D, orientation. The correct answer is option B, resistance to change. Resistance to change fits because resistance to change often comes from fear, uncertainty, or perceived loss. Empowerment is different because it gives people more discretion, benchmarking is different because it compares against best practices, and orientation is different because it introduces employees to the organization. Question 66. Employees in marketing and operations coordinate work at the same level inside a software company for the Maple unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, downward communication. Option B, upward communication. Option C, chain of command. Option D, horizontal communication. The correct answer is option D, horizontal communication. Horizontal communication fits because horizontal communication occurs among people or units at similar levels. Downward communication is different because it flows down the hierarchy, upward communication is different because it flows up the hierarchy, and chain of command is different because it shows formal authority lines. Question 67. During a management case, work is studied to find the most efficient way to perform each task inside a government agency for the Maple unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, human relations approach. Option B, contingency theory. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, scientific management. The correct answer is option D, scientific management. Scientific management fits because scientific management emphasizes task analysis, standard methods, and efficiency. Human relations approach is different because it emphasizes social needs and worker attitudes. Contingency theory is different because it argues management depends on the situation, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes hierarchy and rules. Question 68. How should a manager classify a situation where executives choose broad long-term goals for the whole organization during a staffing shortage for the Maple unit? Option A, operational planning. Option B, work scheduling. Option C, strategic planning. Option D, performance appraisal. The correct answer is option C, strategic planning. Strategic planning fits because strategic planning sets organization-wide direction over a longer time horizon. Operational planning is different because it focuses on short-term day-to-day activities. Work scheduling is different because it assigns timing to tasks, and performance appraisal is different because it evaluates employee results. Question 69. When an employee develops a new product idea inside an existing company during an operations review for the Maple unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, entrepreneurship. Option B, collective bargaining. Option C, entrepreneurship. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option C, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship fits because entrepreneurship is entrepreneurial behavior within an established organization. Entrepreneurship is different because it usually involves starting a new independent venture. Collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor terms, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 70. After a manager compares actual performance with standards and corrects a gap during a strategic planning session for the Maple unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, controlling. Option B, planning. Option C, organizing. Option D, leading. The correct answer is option A, controlling. Controlling fits because controlling measures results, compares them with standards, and triggers corrective action. Planning is different because it sets goals but does not measure completed results. Organizing is different because it assigns work and authority, and leading is different because it motivates people rather than evaluates variances. Question 71. If a team ignores warning signs because members want agreement more than realistic evaluation during a compliance review for the Maple unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, constructive conflict. Option B, groupthink. Option C, benchmarking. Option D, equity theory. The correct answer is option B, groupthink. Groupthink fits because groupthink occurs when pressure for harmony weakens critical thinking. Constructive conflict is different because it encourages useful disagreement. Benchmarking is different because it compares with best practices, and equity theory is different because it focuses on perceived fairness. Question 72. To analyze a case where managers use organized data reports to support planning and control during a merger discussion for the Maple unit, which term should be selected? Option A, labor union. Option B, job enrichment. Option C, management information system. Option D, autocratic leadership. The correct answer is option C, management information system. Management information system fits because MIS provides useful information for managerial decision-making. Labor union is different because it represents workers. Job enrichment is different because it redesigns work for motivation, and autocratic leadership is different because it centralizes decisions. Question 73. For an exam item where major decisions must be approved by top executives inside a hospital department for the Maple unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, decentralization. Option B, empowerment. Option C, centralization. Option D, horizontal communication. The correct answer is option C, centralization. Centralization fits because centralization concentrates decision authority at higher levels. Decentralization is different because it pushes authority to lower levels. Empowerment is different because it gives employees more discretion, and horizontal communication is different because it flows among peers. Question 74. In a workplace example where a company gives managers broad guidance for handling customer refunds in a remote service team for the Maple unit, which concept is tested? Option A, policy. Option B, procedure. Option C, rule. Option D, vision. The correct answer is option A, policy. Policy fits because a policy is a general guideline for recurring decisions. Procedure is different because it gives exact steps to follow. Rule is different because it states a specific required or prohibited action, and vision is different because it describes a desired future. Question 75. Before choosing an answer about a supervisor motivates employees and guides them toward a shared goal at a logistics company for the Maple unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, planning. Option B, organizing. Option C, controlling. Option D, leading. The correct answer is option D, leading. Leading fits because leading focuses on influencing, motivating, and directing people. Planning is different because it is about setting direction before action. Organizing is different because it designs responsibilities and relationships, and controlling is different because it compares results with standards. Question 76. One manager notices that managers choose practices that protect resources for future use inside a software company for the Maple unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, job specification. Option B, sustainability. Option C, forcing. Option D, tactical planning. The correct answer is option B, sustainability. Sustainability fits because sustainability balances present performance with long-term environmental and social effects. Job specification is different because it lists qualifications, forcing is different because it imposes a conflict decision, and tactical planning is different because it converts strategy into departmental plans. Question 77. Could a case where an engineer reports to both a functional manager and a project manager inside a government agency for the Maple unit best point to which concept? Option A, functional structure. Option B, matrix structure. Option C, centralization. Option D, job analysis. The correct answer is option B, matrix structure. Matrix structure fits because a matrix structure combines functional and project authority, creating dual reporting. Functional structure is different because it usually has one functional chain. Centralization is different because it refers to where decisions are made, and job analysis is different because it studies the content of a job. Question 78. Why would a scenario where a manager chooses a satisfactory solution because time and information are limited during a staffing shortage for the Maple unit most likely test which idea? Option A, perfect rationality. Option B, brainstorming. Option C, bounded rationality. Option D, management by exception. The correct answer is option C, bounded rationality. Bounded rationality fits because bounded rationality recognizes that managers cannot always make perfectly rational decisions. Perfect rationality is different because it assumes complete information and unlimited analysis. Brainstorming is different because it generates many ideas, and management by exception is different because it focuses attention on major deviations. Question 79. Where does a manager must explain why a project missed its target during an operations review for the Maple unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, accountability. Option B, authority. Option C, delegation. Option D, recruitment. The correct answer is option A, accountability. Accountability fits because accountability means being answerable for results. Authority is different because it is decision-making power. Delegation is different because it transfers work and authority to another person, and recruitment is different because it attracts job applicants. Question 80. Should a student connect a routine refund request is handled with an established policy during a strategic planning session for the Maple unit with which management concept? Option A, non-program decision. Option B, strategic alliance. Option C, job enrichment. Option D, program decision. The correct answer is option D, program decision. Program decision fits because program decisions use rules or procedures for recurring problems. Non-program decision is different because it addresses new and unusual situations. Strategic alliance is different because it is cooperation between firms, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns work. Question 81. Which concept is shown when a leader gives capable experts broad freedom and little direct supervision during a compliance review for the Maple unit? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, bureaucratic leadership. Option C, laissez-faire leadership. Option D, transactional leadership. The correct answer is option C, laissez-faire leadership. Laissez-faire leadership fits because laissez-faire leadership minimizes leader control and allows follower autonomy. Autocratic leadership is different because it is directive and centralized. Bureaucratic leadership is different because it follows rules closely, and transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes rewards and corrections. Question 82. A supervisor is responsible for 12 direct reports during a merger discussion for the Maple unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, span of control. Option B, chain of command. Option C, unity of direction. Option D, job specification. The correct answer is option A, span of control. Span of control fits because span of control is the number of employees reporting directly to a manager. Chain of command is different because it shows reporting lines rather than number of reports. Unity of direction is different because it aligns activities under one plan, and job specification is different because it lists qualifications. Question 83. During a management case, a leader makes decisions alone and expects quick compliance inside a hospital department for the Maple unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, democratic leadership. Option C, laissez-faire leadership. Option D, servant leadership. The correct answer is option A, autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership fits because autocratic leadership centralizes authority in the leader. Democratic leadership is different because it invites participation, laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives followers wide freedom, and servant leadership is different because it emphasizes serving followers' needs. Question 84. How should a manager classify a situation where workers are told that safety goggles must be worn in the lab in a remote service team for the Maple unit? Option A, policy. Option B, rule. Option C, strategy. Option D, empowerment. The correct answer is option B, rule. Rule fits because a rule states exactly what must or must not be done. Policy is different because it offers broad guidance rather than a specific command. Strategy is different because it sets broad direction, and empowerment is different because it gives employees more decision authority. Question 85. When a new competitor enters the market with lower prices at a logistics company for the Maple unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, strength. Option B, opportunity. Option C, threat. Option D, procedure. The correct answer is option C, threat. Threat fits because a threat is an external condition that can harm performance. Strength is different because it is an internal advantage, opportunity is different because it is an external positive condition, and procedure is different because it is a sequence of steps. Question 86. After a team member keeps discussion focused on goals, facts, and deadlines inside a software company for the Maple unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, maintenance role. Option B, blocking role. Option C, informal authority. Option D, task role. The correct answer is option D, task role. Task role fits because task roles help the group accomplish its work. Maintenance role is different because it supports relationships and morale. Blocking role is different because it disrupts group progress, and informal authority is different because it comes from influence rather than position. Question 87. If a posting lists required education, skills, and experience for the role inside a government agency for the Maple unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, job description. Option B, job specification. Option C, procedure. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option B, job specification. Job specification fits because a job specification identifies qualifications a worker needs for the job. Job description is different because it lists duties performed, procedure is different because it gives steps for a task, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 88. To analyze a case where leaders explain the organization's basic purpose and reason for existing during a staffing shortage for the Maple unit, which term should be selected? Option A, mission statement. Option B, procedure. Option C, variance report. Option D, job specification. The correct answer is option A, mission statement. Mission statement fits because a mission statement states what the organization does and why it exists. Procedure is different because it gives step-by-step instructions. Variance report is different because it compares actual results with standards, and job specification is different because it lists qualifications for a job. Question 89. For an exam item where employees work harder when they believe effort leads to performance and performance leads to valued rewards during an operations review for the Maple unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, equity theory. Option B, reinforcement theory. Option C, expectancy theory. Option D, bureaucracy. The correct answer is option C, expectancy theory. Expectancy theory fits because expectancy theory connects effort, performance, and outcomes. Equity theory is different because it centers on fairness comparisons. Reinforcement theory is different because it focuses on consequences after behavior, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy. Question 90. In a workplace example where leaders explain why old habits must change before introducing a new system during a strategic planning session for the Maple unit, which concept is tested? Option A, refreezing. Option B, unfreezing. Option C, controlling. Option D, recruiting. The correct answer is option B, unfreezing. Unfreezing fits because unfreezing prepares people to let go of current behaviors and accept change. Refreezing is different because it stabilizes the new behavior. Controlling is different because it measures performance against standards, and recruiting is different because it attracts applicants. Question 91. Before choosing an answer about a manager chooses a leadership style based on the team's skill and the situation during a compliance review for the Maple unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, contingency theory. Option B, one best way approach. Option C, equity theory. Option D, centralization. The correct answer is option A, contingency theory. Contingency theory fits because contingency theory says effective management depends on situational factors. One best way approach is different because it assumes one method works everywhere. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness perceptions, and centralization is different because it concerns where authority is held. Question 92. One manager notices that a leader changes direction and support based on follower readiness during a merger discussion for the Maple unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, bureaucratic management. Option C, situational leadership. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option C, situational leadership. Situational leadership fits because situational leadership adapts leader behavior to the maturity or readiness of followers. Autocratic leadership is different because it consistently centers decisions on the leader. Bureaucratic management is different because it emphasizes formal rules, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns jobs for motivation. Question 93. Could a case where an employee follows formal steps to challenge a contract violation inside a hospital department for the Maple unit best point to which concept? Option A, selection procedure. Option B, grievance procedure. Option C, budgeting process. Option D, brainstorming. The correct answer is option B, grievance procedure. Grievance procedure fits because a grievance procedure gives employees a formal path for resolving workplace complaints. Selection procedure is different because it screens job applicants. Budgeting process is different because it plans financial resources. And brainstorming is different because it generates ideas before judging them. Question 94. Why would a scenario where each side gives up part of what it wants to reach a settlement in a remote service team for the Maple unit most likely test which idea? Option A, collaboration. Option B, avoidance. Option C, accommodation. Option D, compromise. The correct answer is option D, compromise. Compromise fits because compromise resolves conflict through mutual concessions. Collaboration is different because it seeks a fuller win-win solution. Avoidance is different because it sidesteps the issue, and accommodation is different because it yields to the other side. Question 95. Where does a leader inspires employees with a vision for major change at a logistics company for the Maple unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, transactional leadership. Option B, scientific management. Option C, transformational leadership. Option D, budgetary control. The correct answer is option C, transformational leadership. Transformational leadership fits because transformational leadership motivates people through vision, meaning, and change. Transactional leadership is different because it focuses on exchanges and rewards. Scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency, and budgetary control is different because it monitors financial results. Question 96. Should a student connect employees share unofficial information before management makes a formal announcement inside a software company for the Maple unit with which management concept? Option A, organization chart. Option B, policy manual. Option C, grapevine. Option D, budget report. The correct answer is option C, grapevine. Grapevine fits because the grapevine is the informal communication network inside an organization. Organization chart is different because it is a formal structure diagram. Policy manual is different because it gives official guidance, and budget report is different because it gives financial control information. Question 97. Which concept is shown when a department head groups jobs, assigns authority, and allocates resources inside a government agency for the Maple unit? Option A, planning. Option B, leading. Option C, organizing. Option D, controlling. The correct answer is option C, organizing. Organizing fits because organizing creates the structure needed to carry out a plan. Planning is different because it chooses goals before the structure is built. Leading is different because it motivates people rather than designs jobs. And controlling is different because it checks performance after standards exist. Question 98. An organization designs pay rates, incentives, and salary ranges during a staffing shortage for the Maple unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, benefits. Option B, recruitment. Option C, compensation. Option D, quality control. The correct answer is option C, compensation. Compensation fits because compensation covers financial rewards given for employee work. Benefits is different because they are indirect rewards such as insurance or leave. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and quality control is different because it checks output against standards. Question 99. During a management case, an employer uses job-related criteria and avoids discrimination in hiring during an operations review for the Maple unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, equal employment opportunity. Option B, job enlargement. Option C, grapevine. Option D, benchmarking. The correct answer is option A, equal employment opportunity. Equal employment opportunity fits because equal employment opportunity requires fair treatment in employment decisions. Job enlargement is different because it expands tasks, grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and benchmarking is different because it compares with best practices. Question 100. How should a manager classify a situation where managers study broad principles such as unity of command and division of work during a strategic planning session for the Maple unit? Option A, administrative management. Option B, scientific management. Option C, quantitative management. Option D, e-business. The correct answer is option A, administrative management. Administrative management fits because administrative management focuses on general principles for managing organizations. Scientific management is different because it focuses more on individual task efficiency. Quantitative management is different because it applies mathematical models, and e-business is different because it uses digital technology for business processes.